In today's tutorial, I am gonna teach you how to measure angles and how to cut a multi-angle shape. In this case, we're gonna be making an octagon. So first thing you're gonna need is a nice straight and kind of a long piece of wood. Mine is 43 centimeters, which is just fine. Basically, you need any size which is nicely divided by 8, and you get like a big enough piece if you divide your wood by 8. In my case, it's 43 divided by 8, which would be 5.33 centimeters, which is good enough size to work with. Yeah, so today we're cutting an octagon. And the formula which I'm going to show you can be used in other shapes too. For example, if you want to cut something into 10 or into 6 or into 12 and so on and so on. First step is you take the number of sides, which in our case is 8. Then we have a minus 2 and we multiply it by 180. That's going to be 1080. And now we divide 1080 by the amount of our sides, which is 8. That's gonna make 135, which is this angle right here. However, you still need to divide it by 2 because we're cutting this side, so we only basically need a half of the angle, which is gonna be 67.5. Now you're gonna take the piece of your wood, you grab your wood and you do some measurements. And there's 2 ways to measure the piece. So the first one is this one and the second one is this one. I recommend to use this one because when we will cut the wood with a table saw, we will lose a bit of the wood. And it's always good to have extra space because you don't wanna end up with 7 pieces or half a piece. Grab your wood, grab your pencils, grab your rulers, and let's measure this thing. Use a protractor for sure. Set it to 67.5. You draw a line coming from the start of your measurement. Now you mark another 5.33 centimeters on the longer side of the forming shape. Basically, it looks like this. And I also like to mark the distance on the side of the wood so that it's easier for me to kind of see what I'm doing and where exactly should I measure. Then what you do is that you twist the protractor on the other side and you draw a line that goes basically towards your first angle line. And now you need to measure 5.33 on the other side of the wood, which you can basically do just by flipping your piece of wood, and it's gonna make your life so much easier. You repeat this step again and again and again until you reach the amount which you want, which is 8. So you basically switch the sides of the contractor, you flip your wood around, and you end up with something like this. And now when you're done, it's time to cut it. What you can do is you can set up the exact size of your cuts, and you can tilt the saw into a needed angle by doing 90 minus 67.5. And please make sure to wear some protective glasses and some headphones because you never know if the piece of wood is gonna fly out of there and hit your face. Unfortunately, the cutting process was not recorded. However, I trust in you guys. And I'm sure you can do it. Now it's done, and as you can see, the exact same thing as I warned you about happened to me. The saw took some millimeters from my wood and it ended up shifting a bit. However, because I had some extra space, it doesn't really matter as I still have 8 pieces and they are still equal to each other. So it is what it is. You know, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Anyways, now you grab a sanding paper and you sand away these little annoying bits of wood. When you're done with sanding your wood, you grab a tape, lay it on the table just like this, and lay down your wooden pieces so that the longer side is touching the table and that they are touching with the edges, just like this. When you lay all of them down, you can grab the edge of your tape and you can roll them in like this just to check that they fit into each other and that they will create the octagon. Yeah, one of them dropped, but that's fine. Once you see that it's all good, it fits, you grab a glue and you put it in between the parts. You can also spread it with a piece of paper or a piece of wood. And when you're done, you roll it in just like that again. But this time do it precisely and make sure that you put glue into every side so that it all sticks together nicely. Now you can use some tape to kind of secure it and make it hold until it dries. Leave it to dry for like half an hour. I usually tend to leave it for like an hour just to be sure. And I don't know, while you're waiting, do something interesting. Now when you're done and you come back all happy, take the tape off, and there you go. There's your cute little perfect octagon. What you can do now, optional, you can either sand it to create something like this, or you can add a little lower piece so it creates this shape in which you can put your pencils in, or I don't know, whatever your heart desires to put in there. Or you can also just take it and screw it on your wall and make this cute little shelf. That's gonna be all for my tutorial, guys. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something new. I hope you're gonna try this out, and for sure it's gonna work. I believe in all of you. And yeah, take care. Bye.